So I will show you how I create my possibilities out of what I had. I grew up in a communist context, and I become mature in the capitalist context. And another context will be this one, the first step on the moon. And I'm not joking, you know, every generation somehow it's marked by technology in a way or another. So I was really marked by TV, television. I'm still a fan, although it's terrible. Worse and worse day after day. So the first context, the communist time, if you remember where was Romania, now it's a black hole. From 80s to 90s was nothing. So we have to queue for basic things, hours and overnight. And in this context, I was really falling asleep. Trying to see if the others are feeling the same. I start to do performance art, but without knowing the history of performance art. And in 1989, the revolution came. I participated in this event, of course. I was waiting, although I didn't know what I have to do. And in 1990, after the revolution, we had to fight almost the whole year for a democratic society. So protests, meetings, occupying University Square. And this is the moment when it was almost a civil war, because students occupied the square asking for a free television and so on, and democratic institutions and practices and so on. And the power in that time, they bring the miners to smash the protestators. In the same time, with all these events, I and my husband, we received a studio in Bucharest. We applied for, but this studio was not like a classic studio, you know, to make artworks, how we were teaching the art academy, but was more like a meeting space, becoming more and more like a space where to debate, where to meet people, Romanians, and then foreigners, journalists, officials, things like that. And was the moment when we start to travel outside Romania. We saw exhibition after exhibition, low budget trips, of course. And I realized that we lost 15 years, 50s to 90s, no idea about. And I start to create, to collect materials to recuperate all these 50 years, the knowledge of all this period, special on contemporary art, and I created an archive. The second context will be Europe and the world. Always I was thinking at the whole planet, so these will be images from exhibitions I saw from 1990 till 2000. It's really a very short selection. I created a poster, and I was using for demonstrations in exhibitions or lectures or whatever. And I start my own subjective art history. I presented here for the first time in 2004. I was curious to see, to understand how the art was changing from modernist time till today. I was reading a lot. I was adding exhibitions I saw, even in alternative spaces. all the text I was using in this, I was preparing a kind of newspaper, a brochure if you want. I was using what artists were saying about how they see being an artist or the art or contemporary art or whatever. Our studio in '96, we declared that it's open to everybody, and since '96 was really open to everybody. The situation in '96 will be like that, how you see. We didn't arrange anything. We let everybody to see how we work, how we live. It was not something new. In that time, we knew about this practice, especially in the United States. My husband was having a fellowship touring the whole United States. And in 1997, we were teaching at Duke University in North Carolina. And for me, it was funny to teach contemporary art in the United States and not at home. So I created the archive in a way, to have a frame and a platform where everybody else will know what I know, and we can have a discussion, debate, whatever. So I start to organize all the multiples, postcards, flyers, books, files, Xerox copies in what I will call later archive. Everything I did was organic. Everything I did was because I needed. And here will be a timeline on general culture. So slowly I was switching towards culture in general. And very short, I can tell you what I discovered doing these timelines, that the mainstream timelines are full with wars. So I couldn't avoid to don't mention the First War, the Second War, the Cold War, something, but not every war, because it was like way too much, and no space to add the inventions or discoveries, which interest me more. And then I discovered that almost everything I thought that was invented, let's say now, was already invented some years ago, even in science, not only in culture. For instance, quantum theory, which is now a buzzword, they were talking at the beginning of the century already. And then there are a lot of delays in cultures, like 60 years. Yeah, this is Europe map with wars. I was like, okay. In 1999, I was preparing to make more efficient my archive, and I start to do a kind of mind maps to know what I have, what I need, where to apply, with whom to collaborate, and slowly I start to take notes in this kind of formula, if you want, rhizomatic, if you want. No hierarchy, it's going like in any direction, almost. And here will be a mind map on who is controlling mass media in Romania. So these are the guys, which are controlling also the immobiliar, real estate stuff. So they are really rich. And talking about rich, so these are the rich people. The top richest people in the world. And the top rich people in former East Europe. I don't know if it's a Slovak somebody, but I think, yeah, Polish and Czech, yes. And top art collectors. You know, a little bit I wanted to see who it's who, and now it's easy with Google Images. This will be a low-budget presentation of a kit of my archive. So I started in 1997 to create a small selection of materials and go really public in galleries and where I was invited. In this case, I had 150 slide viewers with works, so no other formula for works, and files. So I was talking about images. All the time I had a guest from a different field coming. Here you will see 4 of my publications. Zoom. First I start with a dictionary of terms and then a chronology of events, social, political, cultural, the frame for art. And I was more interested in performance and photo, video, media, and theory. So this all 4 will be about this. And then I was going more in curatorial theory and digging out the situation in Romania more, so the Romanian context, and then former East context, and other 4. So this will be my all publication. The last one I made a detective draft. I made for demonstrating that the Museum of Contemporary Art, which is built in the Ceausescu's palace, but actually the Parliament Palace, it's a wrong space. So I boycott this museum being established there, and I was trying to go for a institutional critique. This will be situations like talks all the time. When I was traveling with my archive, I was inviting people who are making a difference in their space. Actually we were talking about synagogue. So this is the synagogue in Cluj, with whom you maybe want to collaborate. This will be a mind map on subject. Who it's, when we say I decide, who it's this I? It's what the family, it's putting the education, the culture, the context, the theories, and all this. So it's my most complex mind map. I was working for some years also. And a little bit my mind maps on different issues are looking like that. Now I'm recycling in my recent project, you will see. Another exhibition I did, also low budget, all the time was low budget because I'm terrible in fundraising monies and thinking at money. So I prefer to make with mine only to be free and quickly, and I go for solutions. So I was using again images and books. Actually it was an exhibition about related issues to exhibitions, but not to no specific exhibition. So in 2000, we were moderators of a live program, so I had the chance to spread contemporary art on Romanian national TV channel. So no protection for regular people to avoid knowing about contemporary art. What I was talking about, the Parliament Palace, and where the Museum of Contemporary Art is established, it's here. Of course, the Parliament should not be there because they should be more modest. It's a democratic society. But you see, they like power like the other guys. And also the museum is having a monopoly. It's not only that they are established in that ugly building together with the parliamentarians, but politic actually, showing that no autonomy. But they have a monopoly of all the spaces in Bucharest. Yeah. So in 2005, they announced us that we have to clean the space, so they cut electricity in the studio, the heating system. We were all the time on the edge, so we never knew, our contract was year by year, so we never knew how long we will stay there. But we continued till 2010 because we stayed how long was possible. And the situations were like that. People, curators coming from all over, asking for information. This was a kind of official end of the archive in 2007 when I also printed this book with all my activity. It's a very simple timeline with a selection, of course. And I was trying to make an inventory for the book. And this is a moment of Žilina, 2004. Yeah.
Now the body.
Sorry?
Now the cafe is there.
Yeah. And like that we'll look a kit of my archive in Royal College or in Slovenia or in Korea or in Holland. And when we saw that we are with 20 years of history, all our energy put it in this archive, all our monies invested there, all my time, we said, okay, we cannot stay on the street, so we have to find solutions. And by chance, we were lucky again, like in 90s when we received the studio, we were lucky to have a mid-career retrospective at Duke University after 10 years, and we sold some works, and we start to build a space for the archive. Not in Bucharest, because it will be way too expensive, was not cheap at all, also in the new location in the middle of Romania, in Sibiu. But now we are private with this institution. I will never imagine that I will be capable to have a private institution. I was looking for help from the state, from the town, and I envy Žilina because guys, the team of the Stanica, because I was trying to have this at home and it was impossible. So it's looking like that. 2 cubes, one on top of the other one, and what you see on the shelves, it's my latest project. I try to build a knowledge museum. This is my project. But I have also Plan B and Plan C. Plan B is to let a short version in this space and to donate to the city. And Plan C is to make another book. Here it's an inventory of this knowledge museum, but I'm working for another book, how to create a museum for knowledge, let's say, basic stuff. Will look like that. 7 departments. I start with earth, body, art, culture, knowledge, science, and universe. And I try to integrate my life in this museum too. So the pills, the tea, homeopathic remedies are in the body department, of course. And I combine toys, sometimes serious stuff I bought in museum stores with books on different issues. It's a space in which we ask to be able to transform in a kind of institution if we need, in which we want to survive, of course, to live. Yeah. So a little bit I thought will work like that. People will dig out, or I will take out from shelves elements according with issues I want to talk and so on. So it's looking like that. a bit now, because I didn't have time to really organize. Will take years again. 20 years for the archive, and here will be a kit of this museum with which I travel around. So this will be the exhibition in Liechtenstein. All the time I depend on space I have. Here will be more the demonstration on a table or in space. The universe department, culture, earth, you see, I'm using some elements to more like in didactic way. In Spain, in New York, in Medellin, in Berlin, and recently in Stuttgart. And all the time, of course, it's different. Why a knowledge museum? Because now we have to be very well informed about everything. How to bank, how to talk with a doctor, what to eat, everything. We need, I was reading somewhere that we need between 4 and 9 professions in order to survive. Of course, you can combine a little bit things which are close to your profession, what you like. But also, from my point of view, we are living in wonderful time. So we have a lot of knowledge now. They discover more and more day by day. For instance, that I will give you some examples. Universe is almost empty, or it's more empty. The brain, it's more empty, like the atom. It's more empty inside. So I don't know, I find it a little bit interesting. All what we know, it's 4% from the whole thing. So a lot of things to discover. Everywhere, in the general culture, we talk about the first man walking on the moon. But the pictures belong to the second man walking on the moon. And I like, because I become tired of the first. Even now at the Olympics, you see, is the first one, and then it's like he was competing with himself or herself. It's nobody after. And also Buzz Aldrin, who took the picture, he's having a very nice statement. He said, funny, we were walking on the moon, we were going to the moon to discover the universe, but actually we discovered Earth, the planet. Of course, maybe it's prettier maybe, or I don't know, it's home. And talking about home, this is the most distant image took by Voyager in 1990 from the limit of the solar system so it's the most distant image of Earth. Amazing. I mean, we are living on that little blue dot. And by the way, if you want to see more clear, is the pale blue dot. Google image and you will see better. And talking about our planet, this is a ball for dogs. Actually, I started collecting all these objects in 1990, connected with the shape of Earth and so on, because I was intrigued how about this minimalizing attitude of people almost all over, I saw, for me, was an instrument for knowledge, for discoveries, and then I find all kinds of toys, even for dogs. So it was weird. This was my collection, and I'm recycling in my last project. All this. And talking about global warming, another cynical object will be this one, to make ice continental shapes. And for body department, I like the idea that we can redesign ourselves. Actually, the body is redesigning himself constantly, overnight. But it's good also to know, because you can reinvent, not only let the body to reprogram himself, but also we can, in terms of projects or plans or goals or whatever. Like that will be a detail of my knowledge museum presented here and there. These are matters on all kinds of issues like discoveries, art, or plants. And I combine with my interdisciplinary research and objects I bought here and there. Some objects I have. This I bought in Medellin. So it's a toy you switch and he's going, making lights and so on. A little bit I thought it's really like some young people in our time, Oh, I need 4 mobiles. Yes, I have 4 because I have to for each company. It's simple and I can talk for free. And yeah, okay. All this consuming society, transform people in consumers. And that's it. They make money to buy things. Nobody is thinking if they really need what they want to buy and so on. And for culture department, it's a selection. It's one image I would like to use. This one, the power of one person to stop tanks in Tiananmen in 1989. So I'm all the time impressed by this moment. I don't know. We don't know what happens. And from official site of China, this image is erased. So it's only an official site where you can find. Here will be a poverty map. So half of the population of the planet is living under $2 per day, and half of this half only with $1. That means no access to safe water, food, education, and then possibilities actually to change your life, to find ways and solutions and so on. And we are thinking, okay, yeah, that's it. Some people are living in difficult spaces or whatever. The thing is that we depend on the majority. Nothing it's proposed or accepted without the majority saying that they want or not. So in a way, they depend on us because we depend on them. And I don't know, I believe that somehow we have to find solutions. And actually, the poor people are not only in the south part of the planet. I have also at home, I discovered that we have quite many at home too. So I'm constantly looking for solutions, and my knowledge museum actually, I want to be a kind of project for, let's say, to do what I can do. Another image what impressed me, the author of this image, maybe took the Pulitzer Prize, and after some month he committed suicide. I think it's, I'm totally amazed and impressed by all these people who are going in difficult spaces and they offer themselves volunteers. I will not be so powerful. This is a global warming map. In 2010, I was participating in a meeting on global warming, and before I was a little bit skeptic, but since then I'm also looking for solutions. The things are tough. So all what I could do was a poster and at home to try to don't keep the TV on or plug in, or I was looking for passive solutions for a passive house and so on. And my plan A, to build a museum of the Knowledge Museum in my hometown, Sibiu, will be, I'm looking for solutions, shapes, and so on. I would like everything to be on view, everything to be transparent, everything to be visible from the day one, from fundraising money to starting to build to everything. In autumn, I will start to talk with the mayor. Till now, I didn't have time, and so cross the fingers for me. I hope that I'll manage. So this will be my presentation, and if you have questions, I show you how I try to find a solution to survive, to do what I want, to don't wait, because we didn't have institutions in Romania. Even now we lost even what we had. Instead of changing or having better or fixing them, we lost everything what we had since the communist time. Nobody cares. Everything is money. And I don't like to complain. I don't like to wait. So this was my way. I was talking these days about the book, World Changing, the user's manual to 21st century. It's, let's say, a recent book I was reading in Istanbul. I was visiting Salt Space, financed by a bank. And in this book, I like some ideas like responsibility. Is the time for everybody to become responsible. We change the lives of people around us, either we want or not. But if we know this, it's better to pay attention, and it's not necessary to start to change lives around. But if you are in a position, then try the best. And responsible. They talk about responsible capitalism, economy, everything. But starting with the responsibility of each individual, because and they talk an idea which I like very much, day by day heroes, because actually it's the truth. So no question.
How do you develop a system for storing things in the archive?
I start with my interest in performance, photo, video, media, and theory. So I was interested in this. I was looking for books. And of course, there are a lot of books on the same issue. But I was looking in institutions I liked, and I made a selection. And I'm very selective because I never had space. And even if I will have a huge space, I will not put everything. Because I like selection, I like shortcut, I like, I don't like to think even for the Knowledge Museum, the museum. But because there are a lot of wonderful museums, a lot of books, it's Wikipedia, we have a lot of information. The most important for me is to know very quickly what can be useful for you, to have a perspective on things and then going deeper in other institutions. So I wanted to have very quickly a frame, a platform for my ideas and for exchange of ideas and so on, for people to know what I know. Also the objects are a lot of objects. I don't buy everything, and I don't want really to end up in having a toy store. No, I'm buying things which make sense connected with the books I was reading and so on. So my interest, and how I said all the time, I'm thinking how I can use that object like a didactic material to talk about issues.
What do you think about Wikipedia as information source?
I like very much. Of course, we have to doubt of everything, but somebody told me, hey, you are really sure that we were on the moon? Okay, I mean, it's fine to doubt and so on. No, could be creation, whatever. I want to know, I want to believe that we were, and we were from my point of view. So I like Wikipedia. Of course, sometimes you can feel that it's a little bit blah blah, but English and British and American, I don't know, are a little bit serious done. Bless you. And I like WikiHow. Do you know about WikiHow? The manual from Wikipedia, how to build things, it's a very basic manual how to do things, but starting with this and then continue with more serious books. So I like Google Images. I'm working. A lot of them are also from there.
But most of your archive is materialized, like it's books and not
books.
So much digital.
Oh no, because I don't have time. I mean, it's enough how long I stay in front of the computer to read, to research and so on. To put everything there, I need help. And now I don't have even time to explain what I would like to have. Maybe I'll have in time, but so I hate to lose my time. It's my obsession since I was small, and that's why maybe I was not capable to have a group because I'm in a hurry. I know what I want what interests me. I know where to find, and I find more and more. So I'm like, okay, who can help in this run? It's fine. Otherwise, bye. And also, it's a lot of stuff on internet. The thing is how you select. Sarah told me once that we are almost similar because I complained that during the communist time was a lack of information and so on. And she said, yeah, but because she realized that, okay, but now we are almost in the same situation. It's a lot of stuff, but we don't have nobody to make a selection for us. So it's an overwhelming amount of information and no shortcuts or brief selection.
I want to ask you, why did you decide to give the new studio then to the town?
To
The municipal.
Why we decide this? It's for so I see around me everything having a price, and who can afford to buy knowledge? Only people with monies. So that's why I said we want to donate this to the town to let like a special library for specialists, but also for public to find, I don't know, something important for about homeopathy. And because we don't have kids, so and because my plan since I was small was to change the world. I'm dreaming that in this way maybe I will do something.
You concentrate on making archives, and does this have something to do with the fact that I think that post-communist or post-totalitarian countries, they suffer from kind of this history or erasing parts of history. People don't remember many things. So was this one of the main reasons that you started to do this?
You know, when I met foreigners, they are very disappointed in a way by my archive because it's not about Romanian artists. It's about, in a way, my archive, it's about tools which I borrow from West to be able to articulate my lack of information and my trauma sleep during the communist time. So in a way, I consider that we were in a coma during the communist time. But you know, the body was functioning somehow. I mean, we were not totally necessarily isolated and really coma and so on. But a little bit the life was suspended. So I realized in 1990 that I cannot articulate to the other one. It was like I was missing languages, words, no languages. I was missing words. So the archive, I tried to recuperate a little bit materials to give me words, how to articulate my experience, my time, and so on. So a little bit, I tried to in a way, find a solution for the lack of information. I recuperate also from my context some artists, but not all of them. I hate nationalism. I hate when I'm forced to focus only on my culture. My culture is the whole planet. I wanted to think like that, and I'm feeling good. I'm in love with Stanislav Lem, with Solaris, for instance. It's one of my favorite books. It's Polish writer. I was not born in Romania, what I can do. So you see the archive, it's covering a little bit also the general space. Some people coming from West, they try to say that, okay, but this is self-colonialization. I don't see like that. And I didn't want to recuperate all my Romanian culture because I didn't like. I knew a little bit. Some people tried to recuperate. I was looking and didn't tell me anything. Only few artists. And then I have them. So that's why I say that the archive, it's more like tools. For instance, I told you, I did performance art without knowing the history of performance. Having books, I knew the difference. I didn't call body art, how the, Americans are calling this, some of the works in which you use your body and so on. I call more experiment because, and so on. So I knew I need to know in order to delimitate or to borrow or to reuse. And by the way, other keywords are now, rethink, reuse, recycle, remake. It's how Nicolas Bourriaud was saying in post-production. Yeah? It's an overwhelming amount of things which are produced. No need to produce more, maybe. So we are in post-production, looking at what was product and presenting maybe in another way, or finding solutions. thinking at post-production in terms of film. Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah.